Jim Rohn called it the magic and the mystery. He said, everybody can, but not everyone will. How do you unlock the same level of motivation that we see high achievers out there in the real world have? I mean, how is it that some people go on to do such huge, fantastic things? Why are some people living such a massive, wild lifestyle? Why are some people launching companies that change the world? And why are so many of us landlocked in society's game plan of just beating to the drum of everyone else and going through the motions and getting mediocre results? My name is Kris Krohn, and I became financially free at the age of 26, and it has given my life an entirely different meaning to be able to do what I want and when I want and how I want. And today I want to share with you the 3 tips, the 3 things that I believe you need to do if you want to unlock the level of motivation that will allow you to figure out what your greatness is and how you can live it.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
The recession is coming, and I'm preparing for it. I was there during the 2008 and did thousands of properties. Now I'm getting ready to deploy $1 billion in real estate, 70,000 homes. And it's really my shot of becoming a billionaire for the first time. And I've got more life ahead of me. What a great time to be actually taking that money and funding a greater future. But I have to go back and ask, when I look at all the things that I've done and the stages that I've spoken on, international speaker and best-selling author, like, where did all that come from? And why am I on a journey where I keep leveling up my life? I think for me, before I can share these 3 things with you, I want you to understand that where it all started for me was being a little 8-year-old and walking in on my parents fighting about money. They didn't know I was there. I'm sure they would have changed their tone or the words they spoke, but I'll never forget them. My dad being German and my mom maybe a little too Irish, it was a heated debate. And as things escalated and they raised their voices and they were shouting and yelling, I knew they loved each other, but it made such an impression on me because I thought, they're fighting about money. And I hardly had an understanding of what money really was. I just knew that it was something that there never seemed to be enough of, and that it was something that led to contention. And in that moment, when the fight was over, it was like I could feel God tapping on my shoulder and saying, Kris, it's your responsibility when you grow up to take care of your parents. That's been my privilege now for the last 8 years. I was able to retire my dad from a long life of construction work. And even though I have 8 siblings, it's something that I knew it was my calling, and it really affected and impacted me to want to become a high achiever, because I knew I wasn't making enough money for me. I was making enough money for 2 families, for my parents. And it was going to grow and become something so much bigger than that. When you look at high achievers and you look at what drives them, they have such a compelling why. I look at my achievements today and the rate that I'm still growing in my life, and I don't share any of that to brag, but I hope that it inspires you to understand that, you can go on and do great things, but the greatest thing I think I've ever done is take care of my parents. My dad not having to have to work and putting him in a beautiful mountain home, and next month I'm sending him on a cruise, and every year I send him on trips, and every month when I get to write that check, it's like it's one of the most meaningful things that I've ever done with my life. It definitely feels small compared to a lot of the other things and charitable work and just the things I've been able to do, but that one has carried such deep meaning for me. There's a huge why in my life that drives and pushes me. So I'm asking, if you want to unlock that as I share these things with you, I want to share with you 3 things that I think high achievers share in common, 3 things that can really help unlock your greatness. If you were to ask greedy people what they want, they always seem to have goals for them. So that first thing is, what do you want? I mean, this is just life 101, is that people respond to incentives. And if you have a goal that's big enough to take your dreams away, that can be a powerful source of motivation. But now I want to share with you a bigger one. What do you want for others? Years ago, a friend asked me if I would support him in running like some crazy 166-mile race down in St. George, southern Utah. I drove out to him and I started basically running with him at, I think, 10 or 11 p.m. at night. And because I was there to support him and stay ahead of him and push him and encourage them as just a small part, it was amazing to me that by, I think it was probably 7 or 8 in the morning, I'd actually run 35 miles with him. I'd never run more than 10 miles in my life. And I ran 35 miles. I had blisters all over my feet. And I figured out that I had run my first ultra marathon. But it seemed easy to me because it wasn't for me. It was a gift for my friend. It's amazing how sometimes our motivation to help other people can be so much greater than the motivation for the things that we want for ourselves. I want to share this because sometimes if you're struggling or at a point in your life where you're not getting what you want, then you might know only what you want. But when you put someone else's life on the line, when someone else becomes the impetus or something far greater, far more important, it has the ability to unlock tremendous greatness within us. I wanted to put this third one out there. You know, I personally, I believe in God. I feel like I've felt God throughout my whole life. I feel like God's touched me in so many meaningful ways. I feel blessed by Him. You know, when I look at God, I ask myself this really big question. What is my purpose? How do I please God? How do I fulfill the reason? Because I personally don't believe that I'm here by chance and at random. In fact, I have felt purpose touch me so many times in my life that has unlocked doors. It's uncanny. It's crazy the things that I've been able to do. And these are the three questions that for me have unlocked my deepest greatness. There's a part of me that's really motivated to achieve and succeed. I love it. Not because I want the accolades of anyone else. I just love knowing that if I want it, that I can and that I can make it happen. It's empowering to be able to do that. But to do something for someone else, for my wife or for my children. Right now, I'm in the process of giving my children an education from the masters. Right? It'd be so easy to say, hey, public education here is free. I'll just put them in school. But that's not what I want for them. By the time I'm done with them, by the time they become adults, whenever that is, I want to have put my hand on their lives. And then bigger than that is purpose. Actually, it's what led to starting this YouTube channel. You know, I've been so many times in my life at a place where I have all the money I need and want, can do the things that I want with the people I want. When I look at my purpose, there's something deep inside that says, awaken that greatness in others. Show others the way. Help other people, perhaps like you, understand what it's going to look like for you to live life in the way that you want. I have this hallucination or dream, I don't know which it is, that says that if everyone on this planet were living their purpose, then all social ailments they'd be addressed. They'd probably melt away. They'd probably go away, which means that you're a part of the solution. Yes, this channel is about empowering you to make a lot of money because in the end, guess what? I'm not going to strive to be president. I don't want the baggage that comes with that. But I can become my own billionaire and I can redistribute that money in a way that I see fit so that I can live what that part of my purpose is. I'm good at making money. I'm a dang good capitalist and I love helping other people become the same. It's just one way that I give back. My live events, they're life-changing. That's another way that I give back in teaching the mindset of the wealthy. These three questions, I want to invite you to do a deep dive right here in your mind, in your heart, and ask yourself. If you haven't achieved what you want, you haven't unleashed the motivation yet. So I want you to dig deeper. What does God want from me? What is the purpose of my being here? What can I do for other people? And see if those two things can open up something more than you can actually do for yourself. Thanks so much for watching today's video. If you do want to get that help on figuring out how to make your next million or maybe your first $1 million or your next $10 million, I've got it all systematized from A to Z. I can help anybody do it. And for me, it starts with empowering you with knowledge and a team. So I've got both of those available. Click the link in the description below. And I've got my recent book that I just wrote that you can get a free copy of. It also comes with a free conversation with my team to talk about exactly where you're at and how you get where you want to be. My hope is that that knowledge will empower you and set you on a path that can light up your world and light up your life and cause you to look back on your deathbed and say, I left nothing on the table. I spent all of my talents. Thank you, friends. Catch you on tomorrow's video.